God is the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. We see that God is a generational. He's always pointing out that he is working generationally, not just for the present moment, not just
not for just today.
Not just for this moment. Because again, we like to live sometimes. We want it right now, right here, right now. But there are times, I think, when you realize the responsibility that we have, that we can pass on the momentary satisfaction, that we can let go of the momentary contentment. There's something that is happening in our lives, and as grandparents, even through our lives, it's going to affect generations down the road. Your home, it matters. You're there to make a difference.
Well, welcome to Home Matters podcast.
Yep, welcome
to Home Matters. What you looking at over there?
Just looking at something.
Looking to the side.
A piece of technology I was looking at. Yep.
You're so technological.
Glad you're here today. Welcome to Home Matters.
We are glad you're here today. And man, we're so thankful for our helpers, right? People that help make this happen.
Oh, yeah.
I was just thinking you were looking at that technological equipment over there.
Thank God for somebody to handle that.
That's right. Thank the Lord for somebody that knows how to make it operate.
Yep.
This is episode 193. So if this is your first time
tracking
tuning
down
in,
200.
Man, you got a lot to catch up on. 192 podcasts.
Yep.
We're coming up on 200. Yeah, we're going to have to do something crazy.
I'm all for crazy. So what's this one about?
We are talking about grandparents today.
Grandparents.
Don't you love it?
Good subject. Yep. Since we are.
Since we are.
Now,
I kind of named us.
Now, wait a minute. Everybody don't turn off.
Don't turn us off. That's
because
right.
You're not a grandparent. We want to talk about the need and, just the commodity.
Commodity?
Yeah, the commodity of
for grandparents?
Of those who are further along, again, grandparents. So if you're a grandparent, if you're a grandparent, naturally you want to listen in.
That's right. But look, if you are not to that stage and you are the parent, all right, we want you to listen in because I think, I just think all of us, and not just because we're grandparents, but we need to be aware of the strength, of the help, the value, can we say it that way, of good, godly grandparents.
Yeah.
The impact that they can have on our families as we're raising our children. And so that's kind of the name today is we need them, godly grandparents.
Grandparents.
We need them. Yeah.
We need them. I like it. It's got a good ring to it.
You like that topic, that title?
Yep.
Yeah. Responsibility. I want to read a scripture here. I didn't really put it in our notes, but I think that grandparents a lot of times maybe we just kind of feel like we've done our part. In fact, I know we even say sometime when it comes to like discipline of our grandkids, it's like that's not my job.
Yeah, we're not that we've done our part, but we're through parenting.
Yes, we're finished with the parenting part. Yes. Just this passage out of 2 Timothy 2, verse 2 says, "You've heard me teach things that have been confirmed by many reliable witnesses. Now teach these truths to other trustworthy people who'll be able to pass them on to others." And you say, well, that's talking about, training others to train others and teachers and leaders. Yeah. But I would just ask us maybe take hold of that and understand, grandparents, talking to you right now, the importance of us passing along, this legacy, this heritage, this faith that we have.
Yeah, Paul wrote Timothy as well and said, I've seen in you what was in your mother Eunice, your grandmother Lois. Or is it the other way? Your mother Lois and your grandmother Eunice. But anyway, it's that.
Wow, now that you ask, I don't remember who was the grandma. Either way.
I believe it is Eunice was the grandmother. Okay. Look it up. But anyway, it's just the fact that we see that there is that generational thing that is happening that is real. That I think that sometimes we don't realize that, God is not just about right now, but God is always working generationally.
That's right.
So
and it's grandmother Lois and mother Eunice. Is that what we said?
Nope. I said grandmother was Eunice. So.
Okay. Mother's Lois, grandmother's Eunice.
But either way, it's saying that there's generational blessing. There's things that, again, it's been handed down. There's something that's been passed generationally. And again, God is the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. We see that God is a generational. He's always pointing out that he is working generationally, not just for the present moment, not for
just today.
Not just for this moment. Because again, we like to live sometimes, we want it right now, right here, right now. But there are times, I think, then when you realize the responsibility that we have, that we can pass on the momentary satisfaction, that we can let go of the momentary, contentment, that we realize that there's something that is happening in our lives, and as grandparents, even through our lives, it's going to affect generations down the road.
We talk about that. I think we talked about that a good bit this last year. We did a Parenting Matters conference, and just seeing the big picture and realizing that everything that we are doing, whether you're parent or grandparent, it is not just for today. You said it's not for my momentary, pleasure or happiness. And man, come on, Americans out here, we live for that so many times, right? But it's for generations that I may never lay my eyes on.
Right.
It's for great grandkids that I may never know, but who still can be influenced by my faith and what I poured into generations.
And, you're thinking of maybe listeners out there, as parents, sometimes I think that we don't embrace what previous generations have to offer, maybe like we should. You may be out there and you say, well, your parents, being grandparents of your children, you may not want them. Mm-hmm. They may not be godly. They may not.
That's true.
But again, somewhere or another, there's still that place of respect and honor. And maybe there's that place that you can draw them into to realize the need that you have, that you would love for them to be in your life and in the life of your children. So
I love it. Yeah. Listen to this, Deuteronomy 4:9, but watch out, be careful. Listen, never to forget what you yourselves have seen. Do not let these memories escape from your mind as long as you live. Listen, and be sure to pass them on to your children and grandchildren. All right, grandparents, the word is speaking right in our face right there. Not just parents, you too, but that we can't forget the amazing things that God has done in our life. Your testimony, your faith story, the time God healed your body, or the time he provided for your financial need when you didn't know where the money was coming from. I mean, we've been there, right? The times he touched our body. So many things that I think we forget those things.
No doubt we do.
We forget. And the word says, don't you forget those things. Why? Well, one of the main reasons is because we're supposed to testify that to our children and our grandchildren.
Yeah, you need to be reminded and remember. You always make sure that you are mindful. Read a few weeks ago out of Exodus 17, where Moses tells Joshua to get a scroll and write all this down.
Write it down.
That you can remind yourself, remind them. I think we have to do a good job of just keeping things in front of us that God's done. So.
And maybe you're not one to maybe journal or write down, but I just challenge you. I think that is so important that we do write it down, as the word says. Listen, if I don't have a chance to testify to all the things that God's done in my life while I'm alive, then maybe some grandchild, great-great-grandchild will pick up that journal in years to come and be able to read. I know when my grandmother passed away, and this has been a while, she had a fan that she made.
Right.
It was cardboard, and she would write her prayers on that fan. And then there were times where she'd just have a little check mark, or she'd mark through it. that maybe God had answered that prayer. And I looked at that thing years after she was gone. And what a testimony to me, to the prayer that had been prayed then. And I'm just saying, you write those things down, testify, because the Lord says that's important.
Better believe it. Hey, grandparents, several things just to point out. And again, if you have grandparents, things that you can take note of right here. Look at this real quick. One is you're probably more influential than you realize you are.
That's true.
I think that sometimes as grandparents, I think that we fail to realize the influence they can have.
That's true.
Or again, you may not want that, but it's there either way. You may not feel like you want to carry that kind of responsibility, but it is there. It
is there. I think it's important that we don't just kind of, slide out of the picture, so to speak. It's easy to say, well, we did our years.
Yeah,
right?
And again, you're speaking to grandparents.
Yeah, to grandparents.
But again, where's that apply to the ones in between?
Yeah, to the parents.
Yeah, I think they have to
embrace that.
They have to embrace that and invite them in. Again, I think we do need those generations before. I think we need them more than we realize in the moment. At our place, we're at a place where, I'm looking back and saying, man, I wish my dad or my mother, I wish we still had them, wish I could, I wish I had their input, or I wish I had their wisdom. And again, I think that sometimes, when you're in your prime, 30s, 40s, you're moving in life.
You're just in the grind.
Yeah, and you don't realize the resource that you have sometimes in those previous generations. So that's what I'm saying. I don't want, and I'm not just trying to make this fit all our audience. I know it don't always do that, but I'm just saying that if you're at the place that you're already in that place, that you got grandkids or they're coming soon, but not only that, those that you got small kids. And if you got parents or even people that have gone before you, maybe even not your biological parents, people that are probably a part of your life that are of previous generations, I just want you to see the influence that is there.
That's true.
Tell them the stat that you read out of
I love this.
One of the studies.
It was a study by some people at Cornell University. And they asked adults that were now adults about their relationship with their grandparents. Listen to this. 9 out of 10 adult grandchildren said that their grandparents influenced their values and their behaviors.
Wow.
Behaviors. Boy, my voice cut out.
That's huge.
9 out of 10 adults said, I was influenced. Now, that could be negatively or positively, right? So hopefully if you're listening out there, let's be the positive influence that God has given us a privilege to be as grandparents. Man, He has positioned us in an amazing place with the experience. I think you
so
used
9 out of 10 adult grandchildren said they were heavily influenced by their grandparents.
Yeah.
Wow, that is amazing.
What an opportunity that we have.
Yeah, I would say that I was heavily influenced by my grandparents. The ones that I had, one of them were one of my sets of grandparents, my father's parents. I didn't really know them when they were healthy. But again, I would say definitely with the other. Yeah, they had a major influence.
On my father's side both passed before
Still
I was
to this day, they have a major influence.
Yeah.
But go ahead.
My grandfather on my mother's side passed when I was like 6 years old. So I do remember him. But my grandmother, the one I was talking about with the fan, man, what an influence. I mean, that was a praying woman. And you say, well, my grandmother was not a praying woman. I had a lady tell me one time.
She was a cussing grandma.
I had a lady tell me one time that her grandmother was absolutely the meanest woman that she'd ever known in her life. So if you are that mean grandparent out there, you are not influencing in the right way. She was dead serious too when she told me that. But don't miss the opportunity, grandparents that you have or parents that you have, to pull that influence into your life. Obviously, if it's a positive influence, right?
Yeah.
What about this, grandparents? You really have a potential to make a great connection with your grandkids. in conversation, in having a place for them, maybe a refuge for them. Listen, sometimes they just need to be able to get away from their parents. Parents need you to take them grandkids and give the parents a break, right? Somebody just blew their horn out there listening, saying, yeah, that's me. But, man, I think what a refuge we can provide for them. Just a place where they can kind of let down their guard, you know?
Sure.
And again, I say it, grandparents, you're not done yet. You are not finished. You are not.
The thing with kids growing up especially is the whole struggle of growth, the whole processes of like adolescence. And,
goodness.
You know, one of the things that I think one of the things that I think grandparents offer so well is a place that they know they're loved.
Where the kids know they're loved?
The kids know they're loved unconditionally. I think so. And they can let down their guard, so to speak. They don't have to impress. They're loved unconditionally. I think it does create a space. Here's the other thing I think that grandparents and parents as well need to understand is you don't have to be them. You don't have to be your kids, and you don't have to be like them. You don't have to be cool.
That's right.
You don't have to be, just be who you are.
Look, you don't have to know all their lingo.
No.
Listen, you're not. I mean, it changes.
I say it this way. Mamas and daddies out there, they don't need you to be their buddy.
That's right.
They need to be mom and dad. They need you to be mom and dad. Grandparents, they don't need you to be their buddy or their friend. And again, I'm not saying you can't have friendship, but all I am saying is this: they need you for that counsel, that experience, that wisdom. They need you for values, all of that we've talked about already. But there's so much more I think that we offer than just a friendship.
Yeah, and be willing to let them laugh at you.
That's right.
I know. I think sometimes, parents as well and grandparents, we're just like, we want to know their language. We want to know some of our family over the holidays, some of the like 30, 40-year-olds had gathered some of the 15 to 20-year-olds, and they were like trying to, okay, what are these words? What does this word mean? They were trying to find out all this stuff for that generation, and that's okay. But I'm just saying, if you don't know it and you sound foolish to them, it's okay. Look, be mature enough about it to say, you can laugh at me. I'm old, whatever.
Yeah.
And I think that's just a comfort for them as well.
Sure it is. Yeah. And again, the studies show it that grandchildren love being close to their grandparents.
Yeah.
They love that good relationship.
They enjoy that relationship. That's true.
Let's go on. We're going to have to finish.
What about this? Can I just say this, grandparents? Just do what you can do from where you are. Because I feel like maybe there's some of you listening out there that would say, man, I mean, perfect scenario, that would all be great. But you know what? I know family situations they're varied, right?
Sure.
They're not perfect. Relationships are strained sometimes. I know it's not always ideal. Maybe your presence, grandparents, is not welcomed. Maybe parents, you're not so sure you want your kids around your parents. I understand those dynamics, I think, but I'm just saying, if you're those grandparents, come on, those godly grandparents, and you say, I wish I could have an influence in my life, just live it from where you are. Love from where you are. Pray for them from where you are, right?
Sure.
Take the opportunities that are granted you, and man, don't overstep your line either, right?
Stay in your lane.
Yeah, we can't just
push
our way.
Again, I just think that the reality is you have to find that you're content with who you are.
Yes.
And what you have to offer. Mm-hmm. And again, you don't have to make too much or too little of that, but always realize you have something to offer.
Absolutely.
Right? And that's something that I think that would help us in so many ways. Mm-hmm. When it comes to multi-generational extended families, I think that the gift of those who've gone before us, if it's something that's honored and embraced, I think there's so much that generations are missing out on.
That's so true.
Especially younger generations, they're missing, but because that's something that maybe grandparents are not stepping in that place, or maybe we're not embracing that or engaging that. So
I think it's on both sides. I think, again, you alluded to it earlier. We're just so busy, you know, those middle years, just trying to get everything done.
Sure.
We just don't take time to maybe engage that relationship. And grandparents, a lot of times we just don't take advantage of the opportunity because maybe we do feel ill-equipped or we don't feel like, you know, we can relate to them. But look, don't be intimidated by their youth.
That's right.
Right?
You got a passage to read before we leave?
I'm going to read it really quick before we leave, if I can get to it. It's in Psalm
78,
passage, yes.
4 through 7.
I had it pulled up. I don't know where I went from
there. You went out of it a little bit ago.
That's right.
Psalm 78. Okay. Look at this.
All right, verse 4. We will not hide these truths from our children. We will tell the next generation about the glorious deeds of the Lord, about his power and his mighty wonders. For he issued his laws to Jacob. He gave his instructions to Israel. He commanded our ancestors to teach them to their children so the next generation might know them, even the children not yet born. And they, in turn, will teach their own children. So each generation should set its hope anew on God, not forgetting his miracles and obeying his commands.
So good.
I love that.
Hey, there's always a next.
That's right.
And again, hey, grandparents, step in that place. All you others that look to those grandparents, hey, they're cool people. They really are cool people.
Just ask us.
And again, embrace that. Engage them. Yes. Realize what a value they are to your life, to your family, to your children. Your generations, the generations come after you.
Yeah.
Make sure.
Man, we love you so much. Thank you for tuning in. And we will see you next time.
Always remember, your home matters.